Hi, all. Welcome to yet another KOOT podcast series where we discuss global SaaS adoption trends, global tech adoption trends with global industry leaders. And today we have a very special guest with us, Harsh Vardhan, who is the global head digital innovation at Apollo Tyres. Harsh is a digital transformation leader, Gen AI leader, thought leader, speaker, author, and recipient of many coveted awards like Digital Transformational Leader Award from World Economic Forum, CII, 100 CIOs from ET. So the list goes on. So let me welcome Harsh. Welcome, Harsh. Thank you so much for taking out time for all of us, for our community. Thank you so much, Harsh. Welcome.
Thank you, Nageshwari. Good morning, first of all, and good morning to all your audience as well. So I'm really honored, and it's my pleasure to really kind of interact with you. I really admire that. Okay, you are in your this avatar of contribution to the society and ecosystem. You are a pretty good advocate of startup and a startup ecosystem. So, it's my pleasure to be in this. And let me see that, okay, how exactly I can really help broadcast, what the good work which we are doing it in Apollo Tires, more in terms of AI innovation, and see that, okay, it should really kind of help the startup ecosystem in really kind of enriching themselves.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, Harsh. Thank you so much for such nice words. And I know, we have been talking for a very long time, but it's an honor having you here. And I'm really looking forward. And I know it's never late, but I'm really looking forward to listen to some interesting, AI and Gen AI capabilities at Apollo Tires. So let's start with your current role at Apollo Tyres, Harsh, and your brief journey, career journey, Harsh.
Okay. So what I'll do, Dharuki, I'll start more in the sense that I'll go in a reverse chronology fashion. And first, let me start and talking about Dharuki, what am I doing in Apollo Tires, right?
Yeah.
So I am a global head of digital innovation in Apollo Tires. My responsibility, if you see it in a very simpler word, is to really help solve complex business and transformation problems through the AI-led digital technologies across the entire business value ecosystem of Apollo Tires. And what it means that whether you're talking about commercial excellence, supply chain excellence, manufacturing excellence, R&D, procurement across this life cycle or the value chain, I infuse AI-led digital transformation to accelerate the business goal and align my initiatives in tandem with the group Apollo Group's business goal itself and all that. In entirety, I'm working towards and spearheading all the initiatives which can transform Apollo Tyres to a global leader in AI-driven enterprise. I have been with Apollo Tyres for almost now a couple of years, over a couple of years, and you know, if I really go back, I've been with Capgemini, working there as a chief digital platform leader for creating the flagship data, AI, and IoT democratization platform itself, and really kind of industrializing it. And before that, I was primarily with Cognizant,
Yeah.
and there my responsibility was to see that, okay, that how that platform, product, and portfolio around AI, big data, and IoT should
Mm.
evolve, help our customers in getting their journey accelerated and streamlined.
Sure.
In my But one thing which I really take a pride from the past,
Mm.
which I'm very, very passionate about, is about my contribution in the field of advancement of AI. So I'm A plus open source contributor to the advanced fields of AI, such as deep reinforcement learning, computer vision, and so on and so forth. I run an open source community called Deep Hive Mind with a
Yeah,
perspective to democratize and evangelize, niche and cutting edge technology to the broader audience and to the broader community itself.
absolutely. Oh, wow, that's a very rich background, Harsh. And also, I would like to understand you're collaborating with government in the Viksit Bharat 2047. Can you share some, what is your work going on there, Harsh?
So, in my humble capacity, I'm one of those executive member of National Committee of CII, National Committee on Technology, Innovation, and R&D, and that's where the committee is responsible for executing our Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047.
Yeah,
I'm contributing in that capacity. And again, this is all about seeing that okay, how exactly the manufacturing world and non-manufacturing world should really kind of get elevated itself along with the ecosystem, which is everything, from academia to the corporate to the government to the startups, everything you think about it and all that. And in my humble capacity, I'm also one of the strategic intelligence member of World Economic Forum,
yeah,
dedicated for supporting all these industry 4.0 5.0 kind of initiative. And as I said that okay, when we were discussing, I am an industry 4.0 expert for TIA, Telangana government.
Telangana government. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, it's an honor having you here, Harsh. Um, and if you remember, we were speaking about Apollo Tyres, and I'm very happy, to listen to the background which you shared about Apollo Tyres, which is looks like a homegrown, and with a global manufacturing unit back headquartered in India. So if you could share some of the current, and it also has acquired some of the companies in the Europe predestined, which you mentioned. So some, brief, the current
So
advancements
Nageshwari,
which is happening
what
at
I'll do,
Apollo
Durga, I'll
Tires,
explain about
Harsh.
the Apollo Tyres
Yeah,
context. Sure. In terms of the okay, how exactly our unified global operation is, what sort of the nuances of Apollo
yeah,
Tyres. Then I'll talk about some interesting tidbits about Apollo Tyres. How things have been evolving,
yeah,
right? And then we'll go deeper into all AI-led transformation
yeah.
which we are doing it across the entire business value ecosystem. One is Apollo Tires itself, another one is a Fredestine tire. And Fredestine is
Seriously, yeah,
100-year old, ultra high premium Dutch tire manufacturing brand, which we acquired in 2009. So from there
yeah,
till now, it's one unified operation. Then we have 7 global manufacturing plants. 5 of them are in India, 2 of them are in Europe. We have 20 plus tire segments. So when I say 20 plus tire segments, whether you think about passenger car radial segment, whether you think about commercial vehicle tire, which is truck and bus tire, whether you think about off highway tires, whether you think about EV tires, mining
mining tires.
tires,
Yeah,
right, agriculture tires, micro mobility tires, we produce all important tire segments. So we are the designer, the manufacturer,
okay,
and the B2B and B2B2C trader of all these tire segments.
wow,
If you look at the complexity wise, we have
yeah,
uh, 2000 plus SKUs across all these tire segments. And through our 14,000 plus global distribution network, the dealer network, we are
yeah,
selling our tire products to 100 plus countries. And to really kind of do the selling, we have 3 supply chain global hub, okay, in
yeah,
India, one in Europe, one in US, and we are maintaining 190 plus global warehouses. So that's the sort of kind of perspective of how what is our entire business value chain operation.
yeah,
Now, if I talk about some of the interesting thing that, if I say that Apollo Tire is one of the youngest tire manufacturing company in the top tier Indian manufacturing block, which has catapulted to the top position, that's something which is a fact. So we are relatively the youngest one in the Indian tire manufacturing company. We are global in our perspective, in our operation,
Yeah.
and we have very because of the innovation we have catapulted to the top position itself. If you look at currently the revenue wise in Indian tire manufacturing company, we are the number two and very neck to neck with our the India's top tire manufacturing company itself.
Sure.
Now, why so? Because innovation has been something which is the way of life in Apollo Tyres itself. Whether it is about the business model innovation, whether it is about the process innovation, whether it is about hardware innovation, automation innovation, we have been always embracing innovation, right? And now we are in the era of digital innovation. For the last 5 6 years, we have been extensively focusing on digital transformation, AI, and digital transformation led innovation itself, and all that, right? So that's the kind of thing which we are trying to do it now. And
Yeah.
if you look at Nageshwari, there are some of those key initiatives, right,
Yeah.
which we are doing it uh, in using AI. So I'll tell you, Duruke, our AI-led digital transformation is across the value system. We are using, varied kind of AI technologies, whether these are, you know, descriptive AI, diagnostic AI, or let's
Mm.
say Duruke,
Predictive.
predictive AI,
Yeah.
or prescriptive AI, or a cognitive AI, or generative AI. We have
Yeah.
been using all of these sort of AI in Apollo
Okay.
landscape
Yeah.
to accelerate our business goal in across the value chain itself, and all that. We are using generative AI
Yeah.
for our commercial excellences. We are using generative AI for supply chain excellence. We are extensively using generative AI and agentic AI system
Mm.
in the manufacturing itself, which is indeed, one of the very, I would say, like a complex area,
Yeah.
because here that the virtual world, the AI world meets the physical world,
Yeah.
not not every day, not every hour, but rather every moment, right?
Got
So
it.
all these AI ecosystems have to really kind of interact with the machines or the PLCs or the SCADA, or the HMIs, those autonomous robots, and so on and so forth, and all that, right? So we
Yeah.
have been really kind of industrializing AI across the spectrum itself, and all that, in
Sure.
R&D and the procurement and all that.
Sure. No, well, I mean, it is bombarding so many questions, your introduction, Harsh. So, everyone is using AI. So, let me put this analogy, right? If a tire is an AI, right, and your vehicle is on the road, so on which stage it is? I know it is beyond, accelerating. So, are you in the accelerating stage, or you're cruising well, or you're just testing the tire pressure, Harsh?
Wow, what a nice analogy there. So let me tell you, with I would say that with the immense pleasure, and with all my humility, that okay, we are pretty much accelerating.
Yeah.
Okay, the tire is just not really kind of started off rolling, but it's rather accelerating. We are gaining momentum, and we
Okay.
want to really kind of continue to build the momentum. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll, I'll tell you something very interesting.
Hmm.
As I said, okay, our digital transformation journey has started
Yeah.
almost like 5 years back.
Yeah.
The whole idea, I mean, extensive digital transformation journey has
Yeah.
started uh, 5 years back. So our idea of AI is more of an overarching theme,
Hmm.
which encapsulates data transformation, which encapsulates cloud, IoT,
Hmm.
and on the top of digital twin, on the top of it, then all sorts of AI to really kind of unlock the data driven decision making and
Yeah.
analytics driven guiding light to the business itself.
Sure.
If you see it, what we have repivoted currently,
Yeah.
when I say that, okay, almost like 1.5 year back, that we now believe that the business transformation should not be done by the IT in a traditional transformative way.
Okay.
which is, you know, more of a, I would say, the okay, elemental way of really doing the transformation. But what we believe fundamentally is that okay, that the transformation, the business transformation, should be more of autonomous, conscious. That's the point what we are working towards. I hope
Yeah, yeah,
it's sort of becomes
yeah,
clear that from the traditional business transformation powered by AI, we want to kind of get to the autonomous, conscious first business transformation powered by the agentic AI ecosystem.
yeah,
And let me make no confusion about it that okay, our story is not about AI. Our story is about intelligent automation. Absolutely about intelligent automation, which begins with identifying the clear business value
yeah,
of any initiative, aligning with the group goals, then bringing the cross-functional team collaboration into the
yeah,
play. That is
yeah,
about the change management, the culture management, and all that.
yeah,
Then bringing the innovation process governance in a newer way, which I
yeah,
call it as an AI reimagined, where the design thinking, AI out of possible gets fused with the
mm,
standard approaches itself and all that, and
yeah,
then certainly powering by the technology, all of these transformative technology.
yeah,
We ensure that our initiatives should not only help us to get to the deal where we want to be, which is autonomous, conscious business,
yeah,
but we also want to ensure that all our initiative, if it is rightly conceptualized, if it's
yeah,
not conceptualized in a piecemeal, fragmented approach,
yeah,
if it's globally conceptualized, then it should take us to the right ROI to improve not only the
yeah.
top line but also improve the EBITDA as well.
Absolutely, Harsh. Now, very interesting, right? You've been mentioning, autonomous, and so which area in the entire operations do you see that AI is really adding the value, right? And which is the most important segment where it is doing the actual problems? I'm sure it is, as you've mentioned, across the operation, but which one comes to your mind initially, Harsh?
So I'll tell you, there are many. It's a very tough question to really kind of pick one or two.
Okay.
But let me in the paucity of the time, I'll narrate
Yeah.
one or two. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, So let me start with the manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
We take immense pride in our manufacturing efficiency, our manufacturing operation,
Yeah.
and then the product which we really kind of, you know, come out of the manufacturing itself. As I talked about, we have almost nearly 2,000 SKUs plus
Yeah.
across the 20 plus tire segments, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and we consider our manufacturing shop floor as a product itself, so that we continuously keep innovating it.
Yeah.
Our manufacturing plants, which are globally distributed, are pretty much operating in the line of Industry 4.0. So they are all IoT enabled. So, and we have been really kind of calling it out from almost a couple of years back itself that okay, our machines are talking, they are sending telemetry data. So our machines, our PLCs, our HMIs, SCADA, whatever, it's sending the data to the cloud itself. So we say that okay, machines are talking, and almost like 2 years back, we have been really kind of becoming very conscious that okay, if our machines are talking, can we listen to it? Can we really do the data-driven decisions on the top of it? Can we really do analytics-driven insights out of it and all that to help our efficiency become better, productivity become better, the cost to be managed, and ensuring that okay, that there is a right human machine collaboration,
Yeah.
which is there with the safety and sustainability in the mind. So what we did almost, I would say that okay, 1.5 year back, we started one of the initiative which came from the bottom up innovation. So when I talk
Okay.
about bottom up innovation, it's more about that okay, we do conduct design thinking coaching session with
Okay.
the AI art of possible session for
Okay.
our business guys itself, from let's say that okay, up to the manager or senior manager level,
Yeah.
to infuse them with this thinking that how they can look at the existing problem in a different way, how
Okay.
they can really kind of redefine the problem in a different way, how they can prioritize the problem, how they can really ideate it itself and all that. So what happened that our engineers came back and said that, okay, you know what, we really get a lot of data coming to the cloud. So
Yeah.
machines are talking. We have really got an IoT enabled dashboards, which are giving a descriptive intelligence. But we want to really get that capability in our hand so that we can talk back to the machine itself. And what
Okay.
it means, that they wanted to really kind of, if I put it in a very simple layman terms, that okay, they wanted to have their own sort of chat GPT on their own machine data, which is coming from the IoT in a telemetry fashion. So we said that, okay, that's a pretty good ask. That that our plant engineers, our plant tech guys, plant maintenance engineers want to really kind of talk back to the
Machine.
to the data, machine data, and
Mm.
check that what they can do to unlock that hidden capacity, what they can do to improve the productivity, what they can do to reduce the cycle time itself, right?
Yeah.
So what we started off that, okay, we started really kind of creating our own uh, agentic AI solution.
Okay.
So, there is generative AI, there is AI agent, and then there is a agentic AI solution.
Yeah.
So we started creating a multi-step workflow with a reasoner in the mind, that,
Okay.
when any question is being asked on
Yeah.
the telemetry data, which is coming in the real time in the streaming fashion from our machines to the cloud, that system, the autonomous solution, the AI solution, should be able to really kind of think through, should build its reasoner, and should
Mm.
not only give an answer what is there in the data, but should really kind of reason it and then give the perspective back to the our our
Engineers. Yeah.
plant engineers, so that they can act upon it and all that, right? So this is what we really built it. In fact, we started off with the partnership, and then we realized that, okay, there's a lot of those data, which a lot of iterative process which needs to be done, that we took it this in-house, and we built it absolutely in-house, and it is now scaled it out to almost, you know 240 plus machines.
Okay.
It's 140 plus SKUs, three different plants. It's absolutely running now. Okay. So
Okay.
we started off in one of the plant, which is Chennai, and then
Okay.
we really kind of scale it out in our AP plant. Then we are scale it out to our John Joe's plant, Hungary itself, and it's just continuously scaling it out itself and all that, right? And that's something, what I feel, what I take pride in it, that this was an idea which came from the bottom up innovation. It's not like a top down thinking.
Yeah.
It's our own, go to persons from the plant engineering team had really conceptualized it. They came back with this ask, and then, I'm very proud of my team, my AI architects, my data scientists, who took this challenge and said that, yes, we will really kind of work together with a cross functional team and make this a reality. And today it is helping in that root cause acceleration by almost, the root cause analysis is accelerated almost by 80% plus, somewhere around 85%. What used to be taking
Yeah.
per scenario almost like 3 hours, 2 hours, or in some cases even a day, is now absolutely on demand. Less than 5 minutes, you can get to know in where to really attack. What is that needle in the haystack where the plant engineers have to focus to get this productivity improvement, get to reduce the cycle time itself and all that. So that's something which is I'm immensely happy, glad about, because it's about cross-functional team collaboration. It's about bottom-up innovation. It's about my AI team, perseverance and consistency itself. It's about good ROI as well.
Absolutely.
If I if the time permits, then I'll talk about the other one, which is for health, safety, environment.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go on. This is a fusion of computer vision and, again, generative AI. Here it is not
Yeah.
an agentic AI; it's a generative AI and computer vision. The whole idea, what we started off,
Yeah.
was more about that we wanted to really kind of make our plants, our satellite office, our all the offices, whether it is about the regional inspection center or the R&D offices, or it's about the customer field office, we are working for. So what we really kind of did it, that we started off with this whole program almost like, I believe that, okay, a year back. Now it's already piloted in across the plants. There are, the whole intent of this particular thing is, today there are CCTV cameras across our
Yeah.
plants. There are cameras in the plant. There are cameras in our satellite offices. There are cameras everywhere. What we do, Durga, we tap that camera, and based, the images are being captured. What is happening, Durga? Our AI system, the intelligent AI system, is automatically figuring it out almost 19 plus different hazards which can happen at the shop floor or anywhere else. It just doesn't only identify, it also really kind of classify that what sort of hazard it is. It can be fire hazard, it can be, waste element hazard, it can be PPE hazard, it can be chemical hazard, it can be electrical hazard, it can be very many kind of hazard. So it just doesn't only identify that there are hazards. It also classifies that hazard. It also gives then and there the corrective action as well as the preventive action, and that's where the generative AI comes into the picture. It all
Okay.
happens in a quick turnaround time, so that that there can be a direct alarm and alert that there is a hazard of this kind. There can be a corrective action, there can be a preventive action of this kind. So everything comes through the AI powered system itself, and this is something that, okay, we are rolling it out across the plants. It's here, it's a fusion of two different technology. It's computer vision and the generative AI together,
Okay.
and helping it solve with the perspective that we should flatten the safety pyramid. There is something like we want to see that our PSIF, our the whole potential serious injuries and fatalities should come down to zero. And I'll tell you that, okay, we are doing fairly well when it comes to the pay safes or the critical LTIs, which is lost time to injuries.
Hmm.
If you look at in our apnea operation, in
Yeah.
in the last 3 years, we had four critical LTIs, and we want to be ensuring that we want to really make it zero, because for us, every of our
Like fine.
operators, contractors, engineers, customer field services, remote offices, everyone is our asset. Apollo absolutely believes in people empowerment and innovation.
No, sure, sure, Harsh. Thank you so much. Actually, you answered many of my, questions which I wanted to ask about Gen AI. Now let me, go to the Gen AI aspect. And moreover, I'm just curious to know. So, are you trying to, turn it into dark stores or, robots making is that one of your visions, Harsh?
No, I mean, obviously, this, I understand that, okay, today, Chinese companies are really kind of running dark factories where, you don't need any intervention. You don't need even a human. No, we are very clear. We want to, as I said, that, okay, we want to be an autonomous, conscious,
Hmm.
business. Our factories, we want to be digital, absolutely smart digital factory with our autonomous, conscious operations. What it means that we want to really kind of go towards industry 5.0, where the human and machine collaboration works so seamlessly well that
Yeah.
it helps you know our engineers to strike work life balance in a better way.
Yeah.
It helps us to improve our productivity. It helps us to help serve our customer in a more customer centricity perspective. And our customers are more of dealers, OEM players, and obviously our consumers are end consumers who eventually uses our tire, right?
Yeah.
So we want to really kind of see that our customer centricity should really go up. Our cost arbitrage, which is one of those obvious objective, should really kind of become better. But all in all, we want to really kind of get to the autonomous conscious business with a
Yeah.
human machine collaboration, where the job, all these mundane job is being done by the AI powered autonomous operations,
Yeah.
cobots, robots, and our operators, our engineers are there to really kind of see that, okay, how what more innovation they can bring in onto the table, how they can bring more customization, how they can really help serve customers better,
Yeah.
and see that, okay, that eventually we bring more and more innovation onto our shop floor as well.
Sure, absolutely, Harsh. Now, when it comes to Gen AI, right? Uh, can you share? I mean, is it actually designing the tire altogether, Harsh, or other than designing the tire, which are the other areas where you've seen the you're seeing the Gen AI cases like marketing. You mentioned about marketing, right? Customer engagement, because you mentioned more than 200 SKU. So is it you're using Gen AI for the local linguistics, and even brainstorming? Maybe I'll take that question later for the brainstorming and how it is getting involved in the board meeting. But Gen AI use cases, Harsh.
Okay, sure. So let me talk about the Gen AI. Again, I'll not get into the differentiation of Gen AI agents, agentic AI, and agency of agentic AI, which I call it as an agentic AI mesh. I'll rather keep everything as one, umbrella under umbrella called Gen AI, right?
Okay, sure.
So first of all, let me tell you that, okay, and that I'm unequivocal about it, that for us the story is always about intelligent automation. It's not about AI, it's not about big data, it's not about cloud, it's not about IoT, it's about everything coming together,
Yeah,
along with that, the right, change management, the cultural sensitivity, the right business objective and the focus, and the right innovation process rigor, everything coming together to really give us the ROI what we are looking for. It can be qualitative, it
mm,
can be quantitative, and all that.
yeah,
Now, if you look at Gen AI, which we are doing it across businesses,
mm,
so I thought one of them. So I want to be very very precise that for us unequivocally our story is always about intelligent automation. Our focus is always about intelligent automation, right? And that's where the AI, IoT,
yeah,
big data, cloud, S4HANA, all of these innovation and more come together, cybersecurity come together to help get to the point where it is about intelligent automation, helping solve
yeah,
the actual business problem by our business leaders across the value chain with the right cross-functional team collaboration, bringing the top-down and bottom-up innovation
yeah,
and ensuring that there is a right innovation governance, right? Now, let me talk about the generative AI, right?
yeah.
Uh, in the case of generative AI, we are using generative AI not only in the field of, uh, you know, accelerating our business goal in the manufacturing, but
Yeah.
also across, right? So for manufacturing, anyway, I talked about that the manufacturing reasoner, we call it as an Apollo Edge,
H.
something where we have created an in-house generative AI, agentic AI system, which
Okay.
helps augment on connected IIoT machine data for improving the machine productivity itself and unlocking the hidden capacity. This is an absolutely a bold step
Okay.
towards Industry 5.0, and it's an agentic AI, multi-step workflow with a reasoner built in the system itself. Let me talk about the other use cases, which we are, not only doing it but scaling it out, right? So
Yeah.
this particular manufacturing reasoner, the Apollo Edge, is
Yeah.
anyway scaled out as I talked about in three different plants itself and all that.
Yeah.
Beyond that, there is in the field of R&D, we
Yeah.
are using generative AI to create accelerated innovative product design. And what it means
Okay.
that
Yeah.
using this creative solution, the generative AI, we want to really kind of foster and create a breakthrough innovation research perspective, internal researches and external researches. So, and then with the final goal that we should be able to really kind of reduce the turnaround time.
Okay.
Okay, reduce the turnaround time of any new tire. And if you look at the different tire segments,
Yeah.
typically it takes from 18 months to anywhere up to 36 months
Yeah.
to really kind of get the new tire design.
Yeah.
And today the world is more about customization. There are
Yeah.
our customers, OEM customers, like you know Mercedes, BMWs, Volkswagen, Mahindra, Marutis, and so on and so forth. Even in the farm categories and others, they are looking for newer products to be coming quicker and faster. And
Yeah.
that's where this particular initiative does really help us to accelerate the turnaround time, reduce the turnaround time for the new product design itself.
Okay.
Beyond this, sorry, you wanted to ask something?
No, no, just out of overall, how much turnaround time has been reduced after the
it
implementation
it
of
it as I said, Durga, it depends. So
Okay.
if you look at the different segments, we have been able to reduce in some cases so far, you know, by 5 to 6 months and all that. We are still,
Okay.
as of now, maturing this particular system itself and all that, and
Okay.
then what we are trying to see, Durga, how we can really templatize this whole thing and scale it out across the tire segments.
Yeah,
We are still in that particular process itself.
absolutely. Now,
Now you'll go on.
sorry, you complete, Harsh.
Okay. Similarly, we are. I talked about one of the case which was a fusion of
Yeah,
the
complete.
computer vision and generative AI to
Yeah,
help create a safer work environment
yeah.
for our all our plants and remote offices itself. Similarly, we are doing it to really kind of create a RTM strategization, which is more about helping our marketing
Yeah.
experts and marketing team business guys to really kind of get an interactive insights using generative AI on the reports, the internal reports and external reports, to see that okay
Okay.
how the market is really kind of behaving or evolving vis-a-vis the competitors, vis-a-vis the regulatory bodies and the norms, vis-a-vis that newer consumer ask, vis-a-vis the sustainability initiatives and so on and so forth. So like this, we are running six different, I would say, the major initiative.
Okay.
Our focus of at this point in time is to really kind of scale out
Hmm.
our generative AI solution in the manufacturing, not only across the plant but across the workstations itself and all that. Our focus is to really kind of see that okay, we scale out uh,
Hmm.
three of the initiatives now are ready to really kind of get into the scale out itself.
Got it, Harsh. Now, Harsh, imagine if Gen AI is given as I was mentioning, a seat in a boardroom. So, what do you think that it will show some, coolest ideas, Harsh? Or, I mean, what will be its vision, the futuristic vision for Apollo Tires, Harsh?
So, we are very convinced now because of our empirical experience. We are very convinced that okay, generative AI in its different varied forms, like
Hmm.
simple calling to the LLMs, or as
Hmm.
creating SLMs, or let's say that okay, creating an AI agent or agentic AI or agency of agentic AI, would really help us towards our the goal to get the businesses to the point of autonomous conscious first business itself. And it's
Okay.
something which is we are very seriously taking it up. We are, as I said you that okay, we are not only trying or in the early stage of the prototype in in anything new. We have a pretty clear innovation governance. We start off with multiple different stage gate mechanism to
Yeah.
see whether things are really working for us or not. From the start, then there is a when you say that okay, conceptualization or ideation of the concept or the business concept powered by any sort of technology, then we
Hmm.
really get into the prototype, then we get into the POC, then we get into the pilot, then we get into the go live, then we get into the scale out sort of stuff. And we are seeing and experiencing that with in some of those cases which I talked about, right? We are able
Yeah.
to scale it out effectively with a interestingly lower cost. So our ROI has also improved. It has not only really brought our vision closer
Hmm.
uh, to us of really creating an autonomous system with a very good synergy between human and machine collaboration. It's
Hmm.
not only has helped us to really kind of accelerate our the turnaround time for those innovation, it is
Hmm.
also ensuring that we are really getting our things done at a lower cost. you
Okay.
know so that's a very interesting thing. So based on this empirical analysis, we have, as I said, repivoted our approach. We want to be really kind of using the different kinds of generative AI and other digital technologies in unison, in confluence, to help our business become more autonomous and conscious business.
Now, what would be if Gen AI is a magical wand, right? What would be that one problem that currently you're facing and you want to solve it with Gen AI, Harsh?
So I would say, technology wise, it's rapidly evolving. We all know, that how deep seeks of the world, or, that now recently that there is a Kimi K2 from the
Hmm.
China. Then, obviously, chat, GPTs,
Yeah,
Groks, then Gemini, there are many.
yeah,
Cloud Days, Anthropic Cloud Days, and all that are really kind of helping. And there are
true.
newer players which are coming up with a lot of those large LLMs and all that. Technology is rapidly growing. We also
Yeah,
know that, okay, that whatever the current state and the maturity of the generative AI is, it's still pretty much primitive as per those industry stalwarts and the leaders like Sam Altman and all that. They were still yet to reach,
agree.
that the full capability, the AGI capability of the generative AI itself. So very soon it will get to a very different transformative fashion itself and all that. But we are very sure that there is a huge economic potential in the generative AI, which we are experiencing it by engaging, embracing, and industrializing at scale, at speed, at ROI, for in our own businesses itself and all that. So generative AI is something which is very very key, and that really plays a role not in one area but across the area. So I would consider this to be like a salt uh,
True.
towards your business goal. If you're cooking any business goal, you need salt, and that's the salt which it is. And it is more of a, I would rather say that it's more of a catalyzing agent. You
Hmm.
embrace it correctly with the correct governance, with the correct cybersecurity in the place, the correct, the ethical governance committee in the place, with the correct sort of technology adoption and culture sensitivity or culture innovation in the place. You have tremendous economic potential of generative AI to transform the entire business value chain itself.
No, maybe, from some of the leaders, they mentioned about the data, the quality of the data, right? Is that the similar problem that you're facing?
Okay, yeah. So sorry, you talked about the problems. So I'll tell
Yeah,
you, uh, any AI under that overarching umbrella of the AI, any AI is as good as data, right? So
yeah,
when I talk about the data is certainly that it has to have the right quality of the data. It has to have the right metadata
yeah,
governance. It has to have the right sort of I would say that, okay, veracity of the data, right?
yeah,
Then the AI engine would be able to really kind of really transform it. However, I would say that the technology itself is evolving so rapidly, yeah, with agentic AI and generative AI, that okay, you can handle to certain extent those data veracity problem
yeah,
by creating an artificial data, synthetic data, using generative AI on your good data to power your AI engine. So we see that the data problem has is anyway fundamental, right? So you typically you say that data is the oil and
yeah,
AI is the combustion engine, right?
yeah.
So when you put this oil into that combustion engine, that's where you really get the energy, the
Correct,
insights to
correct.
really kind of propel further, right?
Yeah,
But I see that, okay, that a lot of those data fallacies, a lot of those data veracity problem can also be handled, and we are handling it
that's
uh,
what.
using agentic AI. The biggest problem I see it with the ecosystem. I
Yeah,
see that, okay, that the startup ecosystem, I mean,
yeah,
we are typically being served by quite a lot of large
yeah.
solution providers and
Okay,
partners. We are being
okay.
served, and we are being helped in our journey by
Yeah.
by universities. We are being helped by also by the startup itself, and that's
Yeah.
one of the reason why we have opened up our second big innovation hub in
Okay,
T Hub in India, which is one of the largest innovation incubation center backed by the government itself, and they have really got a affiliation of 2,000 plus startups
okay.
across the globe itself and all that. So,
Well,
but having said that, the problem is that today, the startups have to evolve to the point where they should, you know, get to the details. They should come up with a perspective where it's just not about quickly uh, gaining the business, but rather really kind of walking the miles with the customer itself, getting into the business. Any transformation is all about business transforming the business, to help
Yeah.
it become more customer centric, right? So
Yeah.
they need to really kind of invest that energy and the patience to understand that, okay, to understand our business challenges. We do our bit to really help them become more sensitive towards that. They need to
Hmm.
really kind of then see that, okay, they should not look for a very quick ROI with our engagement. Typically Apollo believes in the investing in the ecosystem. What we
Okay.
do, that, okay, when there is a good outcome which comes because of the partnership, we continue to invest again and again and again, and we see that not only we grow, but our
Okay.
ecosystem and our partners ecosystem should also really evolve. But I see that, okay, there is a tendency somewhere with some of those players who are there in this generative AI. They try to really kind of oversell it. They create a hype, overhype generative AI. They do a pitch which is not easily achievable, and
Okay.
try to really kind of and then they are not so very good at doing the follow up. So after the pitch, there has
Okay.
to be a regular follow up with those kind of credibility to be put it in place, in the sense that,
Yeah.
okay, what you could do it for that particular business objective, how much it could really say help solve business problem of a particular customer, in what turnaround time, at what particular cost, right? And then they need to bring more and more credibility towards it, rather than just overhyping this particular technology. Because then what would happen, Duraki, that there will be a trough of disillusionment about this generative AI. So I see that, okay, the ecosystem has to evolve. I see
Okay.
that, okay, uh, that a lot of those partner ecosystem has to come in the place wherein it can help get this generative AI, agentic AI adoption at scale, at speed, at ROI
Hmm.
seamless for the customer, and make it
Absolutely.
beneficial and beautiful and elegant for our partners as well.
Absolutely. Shifting the gears, Harsh, because this was I wanted to ask later, but because you opened up about the partnerships. Now, initially, how can you walk me through, like, at what stage do you think, as a team, that okay, we may require an external help in this area? And if yes, how does the ball flows in the org structure? Is it the team which needs to take the decision? And is it that the partner or the startup is asked to give the POC? Some of the red flags you've already shared, but on what metrics do you evaluate these proposals, Harsh?
Sure. So, I would say that, again, circling back to the point that, okay, our story is always about intelligent automation to help businesses get to their objective and become more customer centric. So, how exactly it happens? What we do, Dhruki, that the everything starts with a clearly identified business goal, right? So what we do, Dhruki, there is an annual planning, there is a continuous planning which goes
Okay.
on, there is a top down and a bottom up idea exploration which continues to happen throughout the year as well.
Yeah.
Now, across this, the clear thing is that we want to really kind of see that, okay, there is a clearly identified business value, business goal to a particular initiative or the transformation initiative, which is not a piecemeal or fractional perspective, but that more of a global perspective of transformation. Like, say, if some transformation is needed for one particular SKU or one particular machine, then why not to do it for all the SKU? Why not to
Yeah.
do it for all the machines? Why not to do it for all the different production lines? Why not to really kind of do it for all the manufacturing plants itself and all that, like this, right? So we see try to see that, okay, that we have a clear business goal. Then obviously we see that, okay, there is a clear KPIs, the target benefits which are identified there. That what
Okay.
KPI, it can be qualitative and it can be quantitative. That, okay, what KPIs we want to hit it with a clear perspective that, okay, what is the current status of those KPIs, what is the baseline status should be for that KPIs, and what should be the target uh, status of the KPI which we want to hit to, right? And then with all these agile governance, what we do, that, okay, we start engaging partners. How do we engage partners? Obviously, there are, as I said, there are annual plannings. We really kind of get our budgets, okay,
Yeah.
capex and opex budgets, right, in the annual planning. And then what we try to do, okay, those budget, what we try to do, that we try to really kind of invest it in our partner ecosystem, in our procurements throughout the year itself, aligning with those business goals transformation. Now, how do we really kind of get to the startup, right? So if I help you recollect, I said that, okay, we have started off our another digital innovation hub. One was already there in London. We started 1.5 year or 2 year back in Hyderabad with
Yeah.
in T Hub with the in alignment with the government of Telangana
Yeah.
itself. There, the whole perspective was that, okay, we would really kind of bring open innovation
Okay.
by bringing startup ecosystem to help solve our problem. So if you look at, I and my team is just not responsible for AI industrialization at speed, at scale, at ROI. We're also responsible for, bringing open innovation into
Okay.
the Apollo business ecosystem, particularly startups itself, to
Okay.
help see that our these kind of niche technology driven business objectives are getting delivered in an accelerated fashion. So, typically coming back to the point that how exactly this whole capex,
Yeah.
opex, and then the startup selection decision takes place. There are
Yeah.
different teams. There are,
Okay.
AI architects. There are AI, program managers. There are AI senior professionals and digital transformation, heads, divisional heads, who really kind of take a call, right? That this particular business objective has to be picked up by, or has to be done more in the collaboration, which partner they float it. Typically, if you look at, if I give you an example for those AI experts or digital transformation experts who are based out of
Mm.
Hyderabad and
Okay.
trying to do this whole business transformation using AI and digital transformation, they reach out typically to the our cloud partner networks like AWS partner network and other partner networks. They reach out to T Hub to really kind of broadcast it to the entire ecosystem of the T Hub itself, which is global, worldwide.
Okay.
So what they do, they really kind of run those innovation challenge for us. They
Okay.
broadcast it to the to across the
Yeah.
globe for to their startup ecosystem. What they do, they pitch, the startups do pitch with their own innovative solution to help solve that nth fraction of the problem. And
Okay.
then our AI experts, our digital experts really look at, see that, okay, what is the merit of that particular proposition. And some cases we also go with pretty much like a very structured approaches like RFI, RFQ, and sort of stuff and all that,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
there are very many ways, and it's pretty much like a decentralized way of really facilitating the innovation within
Okay.
Apollo and bringing open innovation to
Okay.
help solve our business problems in an accelerated fashion.
No, absolutely, Harsh. Maybe I will put the link of, the T Hub is in Telangana, right? That you mentioned.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
in India, how many such T Hubs are there, Harsh?
See, it's a pretty good concept, which is being now replicated by almost all the states, right?
Oh,
So, if you look at most of the states are really kind of coming up with their own sort of this kind of innovation incubation center itself and all that. Many of them are pretty much operational. Some of them are pretty much in a good state itself and all that. Along with that, even plug and play sort of innovation players are also there, which are globally known. They have also have their operation in India. And again, when it comes to the innovation, whether it is automation, hardware innovation, sensors innovation, robotic innovation, 3D manufacturing innovation, or whatever innovation, or digital innovation, today in India the ecosystem is mushrooming. That's a
yeah.
good thing, and that's what we need to really be really really happy. And then we should be we as a corporate should be tapping this innovation. So even you look at the incubation centers which are there in ISBs, in IITs, in
Okay.
other colleges, like say the BITS Plani and others. And particularly if you see it, we are extensively investing in our academia collaboration. So Stark
Sure.
University, we collaborate extensively. They have their own innovation incubation center, which is in Hungary. We collaborate with Oxford University in London. We collaborate
Okay.
with very many universities here in India, ISB, ISCs, then IITs itself, and all that. So there are
Sure.
very many channels of really going through. T-Hub is one of our good, I would say, reliable partner, which
Sure.
is helping us to really get to access startup to help solve our specific business problems.
No, sure, Harsh. No, you mentioned that, every now and then, whenever the team is coming across some problem, they put it like a challenge and they pitch it to the startups who can pitch back to them. Now, how do a startup know about this? Is it, continuously communicated in your social media or in your website or?
So what we do, Durke, we to really kind of centralize this all. Let's say, Durke, I give you one example of T-Hub running that innovation challenge.
Yeah,
So we club innovation challenges. We hand it over to the T-Hub. T-Hub runs this innovation challenge for us. They have their, they really open it up in the portal. They really kind of they have their own broadcasting mechanism. We also reach out to, let's say, our one of the most prominent cloud partner, our partner in our success journey, AWS
you
itself.
mentioned that. Yeah,
So we reach out to them. They bring a lot of those partners. They bring their own weighting. So
yeah.
when AWS is bringing, they have really got an extensive partner network. I mean, which is
Mm.
really really good, very deep. What they do, okay, our AWS partners,
Yeah,
they also understand the kind of problem statement which we are dealing with.
yeah.
They do their own vetting of the from their own partner ecosystem. They bring the right partner for our kind of problem to be helped solved in a right way itself. So
Got it.
there are very many channels. I would say to me, two of the top channels which I very reliably depend upon is certainly the AWS partner network system through the AWS itself and all that, and the T Hub.
Got it. Got it, Ash. No, thank you so much. No, earlier also you shared some of the red flags, which you have observed among the startup partners. Like, you mentioned that you're overhyping about the Gen AI, which is they're projecting something which is not achievable. Any other particular red flags, Harsh, that you would like to share, or it is already being vetted and qualified by the AWS partners, or even still after that you have observed some of the red flags, Harsh?
So see, when you look at the red flags from the partner ecosystem, I would rather say that okay, they uh, they need to really come up with a whole attitude about being very realistic and adding and substantiating their pitch with a or corroborate their pitch with real success case studies, right? Where the success is quantified clearly in the KPIs, and
Okay.
they should really kind of talk. They have to have the patience to really kind of walk the miles to understand our business, the nuances of the business. Because end of the day, technology is to help solve business problem itself and all that, and bring the business to the to customer centricity, right?
Mm.
So they need to really kind of do this particular part well. The other thing which I see that okay, the timelines which they should be very vocal about what is doable, what is not doable, in the sense
Okay.
that okay, technology can do everything and anything, right? Because technology is really kind of evolving at a breakneck speed. But it's about the customers, or or let's say that okay, our kind of corporate environments where the data may be a problem, may not be a problem. The data
Yeah.
veracity may be a problem, may not be a problem. And we may not be in many of the cases we would look for the startups to come back and tell us about the art of possible as well, that what
Okay.
more can be done rather than just simply coming, you know shooting to the problem statement which we talked about it. Maybe they should really kind of use this design thinking kind of approach, come back and talk about the, okay, what more can be done to
Okay.
your problem, and how else your problem can be solved as well and all that.
Got
So the other problem which I see it that okay, for the POCs, typically the way we go ahead in the projects, as I talked about, that okay, there is a prototype, then there is a
it.
POC, then there is a pilot with
Yeah.
more and more with the business users, then going into the go live and then scaling it out. I see that okay, there is a tendency that for the prototype and at the POC level, we do collaborations with the startup wherein we do payment, we do collaboration with the last solution provider. In some case, we say that okay, that a part of the prototype or the POC has to be borne by them, the expense of it and all that, just to really kind of see and prove that this art of possible is going to be really working. But I see that okay, there is a increasing tendency that as and when things start scaling it out,
Yeah.
more and more data is coming in, more and more customers are using it, more and more, the business is scaling it out with that particular thing. The way that whole charges are getting unfolded on
Yeah.
us is becoming sort of I would say that unviable for us, because we need to see
Okay.
that, okay, with the target benefit, there is a, and then with the expense to really kind of get that target benefit, we still have to have some sort of ROI to the business initiative itself and all that.
Absolutely, Harsh. Now, you mentioned about the budgeting aspect. How do you balance the budget to be allocated for the solutions which is already there versus to something which is in the R&D phase, Harsh?
So, we have as I said, that, okay, we have an annual planning, which we do it. And that's
Yeah.
where we really kind of decide about the capex and the opex, which needs to be invested in all sort of software partners, digital partners, hardware partners, and other partners, and all that sort of stuff, right? In case of our transformation journey. Now, what we do, Duruki, we are very clear that it's all driven by the business initiative. Now, most of the
Okay.
business initiative, we just don't want to be transforming with a traditional approach and all that.
Okay.
We are very clear about it. If we have a very clear identified business objective, we have already got an empirical success,
Yeah.
tested with those breakthrough innovations itself. What we do, that, okay, for every initiative, what we try to do, that, okay, we in the prototype phase, we try to see that, okay, is there any other transformative technology which we can use to help it solve in a more accelerated fashion and in a more deeper fashion itself. Like,
Okay.
I'll tell you that, okay, for our demand sensing and demand forecasting, which is one of those very tough challenge and one of the most stereotype challenge, and a very tough, because when if you look at
Okay.
the market volatility, if you look
Yeah.
at the world which we are in, VUCA world, nothing is very clear. You wake up in a particular day, you understand there is a tariff
Yeah.
imposed, right?
Yeah.
You wake up another day and you realize that, okay, you know what, that the whole that rare earth materials, elements, and the magnets and other stuffs, the supply chain itself is broken because the country which is originating, which is producing it, is really kind of banning that export itself and all that. There are a lot of those
Volatility.
vulnerability and
Yeah.
are there. So, and then the market is evolving pretty fast. The customer is, the end consumers are becoming demanding, the customers are becoming more aware and all that, and we want to see that, okay, we help solve them in a better way. So in that case, what happens, that to get this all
Yeah.
done, we, for the demand sensing and demand forecasting, right, done it the right way, we also experimented with the quantum inspired machine learning. Okay,
Okay.
it's a QIML, for the very reason that, okay, we understood that, okay, we need to do a deeper demand sensing and demand forecasting solution
Yeah.
to understand that, okay, which causal factor is really kind of making an impact on our demands, and a constrain less demand. And that's where we use quantum inspired machine learning. And then and then we had a budget for to try it out. However, we are still in the making of this particular
Okay.
initiative or this particular solution itself and all that. It is yet to
Mm.
be really kind of deployed. We are still away from getting it deployed and seeing the real benefit coming out of it and all that. But yes, we took it, we had that whole intent to try out differently to help solve the problem, which can be done in a even a traditional AI approach itself and all that. So we keep that sort of balance in our budget while we are defining capex and opex itself.
Got it, Harsh. Uh, Quickly, I wanted to understand because the scale which you mentioned, it's such a large, right? More than 240 plus business units. Now, what was the initial? I'm sure as a leader you would have faced this. What was the initial challenge in implementing the digital transformation across the globe, and how did you overcome? This myth or something where the local workforces are fearing that the AI is going to take away with their jobs. So how did you overcome that, Harsh?
So, Nageshwari, I think you have two very interesting questions. One about the, okay, how do we really kind of do this digital transformation? What kind of problem we faced it
Yeah.
first and foremost, and second is how do we really kind of make our business stakeholders at the bottom up level embrace digital
Yeah.
transformation or AI-led transformation itself without getting afraid of or the fearful of, right? So let me first tell you that, okay, what did we do right, and what is it which we focused on to get the digital transformation adoption to really go in
Yeah.
the right direction itself. So we were very clear about it, because as I said, that Apollo
Mm.
Tyres, being one of the youngest tire manufacturing company in the Indian tire manufacturing, top tier Indian tire manufacturing block, has catapulted to this status of where in 2023 we were the by the ATMA report, Automotive Tire Manufacturing Association report, we were the
Mm.
number one tire manufacturing company from India as per revenue, right? In
Okay.
2023, we
Okay.
catapulted because of the innovation. So innovation is the way. So we know it, that innovation can only happen if there is a right change manager, right culture,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So the first and foremost, before we really kind of get onto any sort of new innovation management, or any sort of new innovation modeling to be done, we
Mm.
start with a innovation culture readiness.
Got
So when my job was to really kind of ensure that I should bring that AI first
Yeah.
innovation culture
Mm.
in Apollo across the business. And
Yeah.
to do that, we started off with the top down and bottom up innovation program itself.
Got
We
it.
conduct 6 months of non intrusive, leisurely paced innovation innovation culture program for our bottom up people, our engineers, our managers, and, our heads, to really kind of understand that, okay, what how they can look at the problem in a different fashion, how they can use design thinking, how they can use TPM, how they can use TQM, how they can use those traditional as well as the newer approach of really an agile, to fuse it together to really accelerate
Mm.
their business itself, and all that, how they should really conceptualize the problem, how they should really kind of ideate, experiment, and scale it out. So we did this with the bottom up innovation program.
You
We did
mentioned
it
that.
6 months of off-site, online, and physical
Okay.
coaching connect program first
Okay.
and foremost. Then what we did that, okay, we built our team in a way which, whether it is in the our digital innovation hub in London, or digital innovation hub in Hyderabad, or across the different businesses, those digital transformation people who are stationed, we built the team in a way which which has the very good understanding of the business nuances,
Yeah.
very good understanding of I would say fairly good understanding of the business nuances, fairly good understanding of the technology, fairly good understanding of the architecture constructs, fairly good understanding of that, okay, how cost operations has to be managed, fairly good understanding about the, okay, how to open up to
Mm.
the innovation ecosystem itself, and all that, right? So this is what we really kind of did it. And that's where what we could do, that some of the real good innovation, we, because
Okay.
of such kind of team building, we could do it in house, and we could also bring a lot of those startups into our open innovation ecosystem itself, and all that, right?
Got it.
So these are the two things which we did it primarily well. We also really kind of brought in one centralized innovation management platform,
Okay.
wherein across the board,
Mm.
anybody can really pour their ideas, innovation ideas, onto the centralized innovation management platform. Can look at that, okay, what how exactly that idea is really kind of being picked up, where
Mm.
exactly it is getting evolved. If they want to really kind of contribute it, anybody can contribute to any other idea itself, and all that. So there is a centralization, there is a decentralization is what we have done. We created a hub and spoke model to really
Mm.
see that, okay, that innovation, digital innovation, should be embraced, adopted, scaled out, and should really reflect in money in the book, right?
Got it.
Now, the the problem, let's say that, okay, how did we create
Yeah.
this fearless
Mm.
acknowledgement of AI is my companion, is my help assistant, rather than
The job.
something which is going to be really kind of kicking me out or throwing me from the job. So first of all, let me reiterate that Apollo's leaderships, thanks to our chiefs, thanks to our VCMD, the CEO, and everybody, we are very, very people oriented company. So we just don't since we are business, so obviously we take care of our business profitability, business performance KPIs, but one of the key focus is certainly the people care itself. We are very well known for our people care itself. We have been consistently best workplace to work for in almost all our country operation, be it in Europe, be it in India, be it in our Singapore operations and across our US operations itself and all that. So there is, first of all, there is no sort of, I would say, there is subconscious that pressure that, that this automation possibly will be coming at the expense of me. There is a
Okay.
sort of psychological security, number one. Number two, that we always believe that, okay, that everybody has to get elevated to the next level, right? They need to do
Yeah.
better work. They don't need to do the mundane work. They don't need to do unsafer work. They don't need to really kind of do those repetitive work. They need to
Yeah.
really kind of get elevated to doing more and more innovation, more and more value add to the value chain itself, so that they can prosper in their career. Now, how exactly, let's say, a shop floor manager, or let's say the okay, workstation, in charge can see himself
Hmm.
improving in his career, if that the workstation or the shop floor part in charge is only engaged in firefighting in the business as usual,
Yeah.
and not adding any value add to this, then to the value chain, then there's less likelihood of promotion. Now, this is
Yes.
something that, okay, we let them know first, that
Hmm.
your KRS and your KPIs is just not to do the BAU, but to bring more value to the value chain itself and all that,
Got
to
it.
the place where you're working, because
Hmm.
that's the way everybody is judged. You are judged, I'm judged, everybody is judged by bringing more value rather than doing just the BAU, right? In a more sustainable fashion. So then what we do, Duruk, we give a that 6 months of bottom up innovation program powered by the design thinking and other traditional techniques and technologies, which opens up their mind to see that, okay, how they can look at the
Hmm.
problem statement and the AI out of possible to use it as a companion itself and all that. And then what we do, that when there is some automation which we are doing it because of, let's say, robotic automation or 3D manufacturing or AI or autonomous operations and all that, we ensure that we grow in our business. And when we are
Yeah.
growing in our business, we get more and more business. And then when we get more and more business, our existing guys who have been there, and typically in Apollo there are engineers, there are bottom up guys, there are top executives who are there for the last 20 years, 30 years, and so on and so forth. They believe Apollo as a family, right? So
Hmm.
they get elevated. They
Okay.
now see that, okay, the more businesses coming up, they really kind of focus more on to that, those kind of places where they need to really take their own human conscience interventions to those autonomous systems to really help meet our objectives itself. So
Sure.
there is no, I would say that, okay, that way the fear is. And again, we do not take things for granted. Are these all coaching connects, our whole bottom up innovation program, are this whole bringing startups into the ecosystem, fusing design thinking with open innovation, with keeping the focus on intelligent automation, helping human machine collaboration, helping customer centricity, helping this whole business performance, this all we do it with the perspective that it is a continuous journey.
Got
It
it.
is not one time. It's not that 6 months capsule program, or it's not like a AI on a steroid. We believe the world is never in a tearing hurry. World is always evolving and is continuously evolving, and we need to continuously keep doing our own work in a Kaizen approach.
Got it, Harsh. Wonderfully put. Harsh, now coming down, because it's a manufacturing, and this question I ask to all my guests who come from the manufacturing. What about the sustainability? Is it that the old tires are given the new life, or during the manufacturing itself, the green, it's given the green future for the tire, Harsh?
So sustainability. First of all, if you look at, we are pretty much aligned with UN SDG itself, United Nations Sustainability Development Goal itself. We
Okay.
have been recently rewarded as with EcoVadis award itself. What it means that okay, we are in the top 10% of
Okay.
sustainable manufacturing company in India,
Okay.
right? Sustainability is one of the key focus. We have a
Okay.
dedicated department for sustainability and corporate social responsibility itself, and it is being headed by Renika, who is the global head for the sustainability itself,
Okay.
and not only sustainability but a corporate social responsibility as well. So sustainability is core to our vision. We want to really kind of become carbon neutral. We want to really become we want to be very very dependent upon our renewable energy. We have all these 6 R of uh, sustainability already baked in, and we are continuously evolving towards direction. We have our own standard vision aligning with 2030, 2050, and all that okay, how exactly, when exactly we will get to what particular maturity, and we are continuously working towards that. AIML, digital transformation, is absolutely assisting in this journey itself. It's not only assisting, it's accelerating itself. I'll give you
Okay.
some of the examples, like say
Yeah.
when you talk about sustainability, the larger umbrella is called ESG,
Yeah.
environmental, social, governance. So
Yeah.
if you look at environmental, that's where the water management, waste management, power management, and these kind of greenhouse gas emission cut down management is
Okay.
being focused on. We do a lot of initiatives to really kind of be compliant, to continuously evolve, and there are reasons why we have got sort of acknowledgments what we have got it, and giving us a
Yeah.
very distinctive position itself and all that. If you look at then then in social, we want to really kind of make our the whole workplace more safer. I talked about that okay, how we are using
Mm.
generative AI to really make
Yeah.
safety as a prominent play, not in a way that okay, it's just prominent, but it's really kind of flattening the safety pyramid. So
Yeah.
making a quantum jump in our objective, no safe uh, at all.
Mm.
Zero PSIF is what we are trying to look for it and all that. Similarly, if you look at in the governance, we have our ethical committee, our governance committee, which we are, ensuring it that okay, that ensures that not only that all the non-digital but also the digital and AI-led initiatives are governed with a
Mm.
explainable, responsible way itself and all that.
Got it, Harsh. Got it. Now, I think we are coming to the end of the podcast. Second last question I want to ask: how do you, because you have, multiple roles, Harsh, right? You are working with government, you're working with Apollo, you're an author. So, how does your everyday, routine looks like, and how do you upskill yourself, Harsh, on everyday basis?
Okay, that's a pretty interesting question. Thanks for really asking it. So, I fundamentally believe that okay, the world is all about socio techno functional challenge. If I can connect with this problem in a more social way, if
Okay.
I can really connect the problem more with a functional way, and then if I can connect with the problem and help it solve with the technology, then all the problems can be solved, right? So what I try to do that okay, I spend my time the weekdays, even if I'm in the office or non-office, I connect with all this on these paradigms, right? I connect with the people, I connect with the young minds, I connect with let's say that okay, in my whichever avatar, with more and more people interaction, right? So that gives me a lot of those energy. The I would rather say that okay, shot in the arm to do something better. Like say my interaction with you, Nageshwari, is more to really see that okay, how I get to know you better, how you should get to know me better, and then how together
Mm.
we can really help solve this socio technology problem, right? The social problem of really kind of seeing that okay, that startup ecosystem or the corporate should really kind of use more of this niche cutting edge technologies to across their business value chain. So I keep interacting quite a lot. What I do, Duruke, I also spend my time with my community members over the weekends, which
Okay.
is
Deep
the DeFi
mind.
band community,
Yeah.
right? So, and obviously, off late, I have stopped doing my direct contribution. I'm proud of
Okay.
my contribution, which I did it, which have really got me the A plus contributor badge as well in the
Yeah.
deep reinforcement learning. I'm also thinking about that. Okay, over the weekend, sometime I should really kind of take it out for to really do again restart my contribution. Okay,
Okay.
at the same time, what I do, Duruki, I spend my time enjoying with my family, and I see, Duruki, that if you're enjoying everything, whatever you're doing it, then the time just flies by. I
Yeah.
mean, if you see the way I'm talking with you, the way you are talking with me, we are not really, I don't think that we are keeping a tab on the time. We are just enjoying this conversation. So
Yeah.
if I'm enjoying the thing which I'm doing it, then I'll continue to do a lot of things, because everything is eventually the same socio technology functional aspect, right? So that's the way
Absolutely.
it is.
No, no, absolutely, Harsh. Any particular book or video, audio book or a blog which you follow, Harsh?
Oh, quite a lot, quite a lot. So
Okay.
quite a lot. Again, today, the good thing is like the knowledge dissemination is happening in very, very, very many ways. It's
Yeah.
just the knowledge I would not say that it's just knowledge dissemination or information dissemination. Even the wisdom dissemination is happening. Like look at, you go back and ask chat GPTs or the perplexities and all that. They would really kind of do quite a good research
Yeah.
with a lot of good corroborative, substantiated references, and give you the wisdom itself and all that, right? So I do keep surfing. I do keep looking for, and I induct a lot of those interns in my
Okay.
own department.
Okay.
And typically the young mind, the fresh minds are always unbridled, so they are, if you just really give them the right culture, right ecosystem where they can unleash their creativity, they will really
Yeah.
kind of come back with a lot of those new innovative modalities, and thinking ways to really innovate. So that's what I keep doing it. I mean, I read books,
Yeah.
I interact with those, the young minds. I exchange my thoughts with the brilliant minds around me, or wherever I get to really interact with them and all that. I keep searching, surfing, GPTs, Chat GPTs,
Yeah.
Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, and others.
Got it. Got it. Same. No, I totally agree with your chat GPT aspect. In fact, today morning itself, to my 6-year-old daughter, my husband was insisting that beyond Dr. Binocs, you need to, he was teaching her how to ask questions in the chat GPT, and she was fascinated with that. So I totally agree. It is across the
and
age group.
and you'll see Durga, soon your daughter would really kind of ask question in a way which will be, you'll be like, oh acha, is it the way I can ask question as well, right? Because they don't kind of keep any sort of limitation or horizon in their mind. They just go unbridled, right?
No, absolutely, totally agree with you, Harsh. Finally, I think, yeah, the last question, which I generally ask to all my guests, what is that one advice, Harsh, that you would like to give the aspiring startup founders or the aspiring enterprise leaders who look up to you, Harsh?
So I would say that, okay, this is a pretty interesting time that everybody knows it. The way the technology is evolving, it is really kind of getting to that particular maturity where it can help solve lot many problems which the humankind and the industry is really facing it and all that. So I would rather suggest them to really kind of gear up, go in detail, become more nuanced, and always keep the customer centricity, always keep the, I would say that, okay, the business centricity in their mind. So that's what it is. I mean, it's a pretty interesting time to be in technology. It's a pretty interesting time to be in business. It's a pretty interesting time wherein the barrier of getting into the business and becoming successful has come down, right? Because of these transformative technologies. Now you don't need to have a force of, 2,000 people or 3 lakh people to do some sort of transformative transformation. You can do with quite at ease with those, with the apt use of these technologies itself and all that, and it can create a business empire which is just 2 member, 3 member, 5 member team itself and all that.
Absolutely, Harsh. No, thank you for that wonderful advice. And I thoroughly loved the, conversation, the entire podcast. And I really look for, there's no doubt Apollo is heading towards the autonomous future, Harsh. And maybe, some of the topics, especially when you were, mentioning a little deeper about Gen AI applications in the value chain, maybe I would like to invite you again for that particular masterclass in future, Harsh. So
So
thank you
it's my
so
pleasure.
much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And yes, stay in touch. And I hope that, okay,
absolutely.
your audience would be able to really kind of benefit. And yes, your questions were pretty interesting. Some of the formulations, was also very interesting. So I thoroughly cherished my interaction with you as well. Thank you. Thank you for your
The
time.
pleasure is all ours, Harsh. Thank you so much.